dear students. My name is Zoira Ibrahimovna, and today's theme is History of the English Language. A language develops over centuries of time. As it develops, it changes. We have no idea when English language started. The Celtic immigrated to England in the 5th century BC and drove out the Stonehenge people. The Celtic tribes wandered widely from Spain to Russia and Britain. Therefore, the Celtic language was spoken over a vast area of the European continent. A Druid was the priestly class in Celtic polytheism societies. In 43 AD, an army of 40,000 Roman soldiers invaded Celtic Britain and made it part of the Roman Empire. During the 400-year Roman rule, the Romans introduced Christianity, Latin, built roads, established Roman laws, and kept the fierce Picts and Scots of the north side of Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall was built across the narrow part of England to keep the Picts and Scots from invading the south. Roman soldiers came from the area we call Italy today. Rome is still the capital city of Italy. After surviving the army, many soldiers married Celtic women and settled down in England. Britain was western edge of the Roman Empire. The Romans began to pull her legions out of Britain in 410 AD. After 400 years of Roman rule, Rome was crumbling from the attacks of the barbarians. The Celts were left without the protection of the Roman army and had no weapons to defend themselves. After the Romans left, the Picts and Scots came south into England, and bands of Vikings came south from Scandinavia. After 400 years of having Roman protection, the Celts were civilized, peace-loving, and accustomed to Roman laws. They had no need to fight for a long time. They needed help against the Picts, Scots, and Viking raiders. The Angles and Saxons were Germanic cousins of the Jutes. They invaded Britain and drove the Celts far to the west of Britain. They added insult to injury by calling them Wales or Welsh, which means foreigners. Among these, Wales was probably King Arthur from the legends of chivalry. You can click on a link and watch a short film about the Angles and Saxons. Jutes, Angles, and Saxons. These German tribes spoke German, although each spoken in different dialects. The Celts, renamed Wales or foreigners, were driven west by the Angles and Saxons and settled into Wales. The heir, the English throne Prince Charles, is titled the Prince of the Wales. Welsh is form of the Celtic language. By the middle of the 6th century, the Jutes, Angles, and Saxons were settled on the land they had taken from the Celts. An error was made by historians when they determined that the Angles dialect was the origin of English, therefore English was the name used for all these Germanic tribes. The language known as Old English was spoken 450 AD to 1150 AD. Most surviving Old English documents are in West Saxon dialect. Beowulf is one of these. You can click on a link and watch summary of the plot of Beowulf. The Vikings came from Scandinavia. There were many places on the British island to beach their boats and raid the English countryside. For another century, the Viking invaders kept coming. Finally, in 1014, a Danish Viking named Canute was crowned King of England. He was a wise and humble king. The Vikings gradually stopped speaking Danish or Norse and learned English. However, they gave us such words as they, their, them, are, skirt, sky, skin, scrub, and whisk, and name ending in to son. For 200 years after 1066, French was the language in the government, church, education, and the arts. English was spoken, but only by low classes. Often modern English has inherited two different words for the same item. The peasant called the beast a cow, but now normal lord called it beef. In 1204, the Anglo-Normans and the French king fought once more for possessions of Normandy. The Anglo-Normans lost the battle and their possession in Normandy to the French king. The Anglo-Normans learned English but kept to more than 10,000 of their French words. The result was neither Old English nor Norman French, but a new combination, Middle English. Thank you for your attention.